Get in the cart.
Right at us.
The best in the business, Roger Cleveland.
Can't wait to get back to Chicago and Mistwood.
This is Party of Four, a Mistwood Golf Club podcast. This is the Party of Four Christmas episode. Actually, there's really no Christmas main theme to it other than it's the middle of December, and there'll be a little nostalgia.
All right, let's talk about this.
Okay.
I have been fighting hard. I don't know if it's a midlife crisis, but I am really trying to get in the Christmas spirit. And I've been trying since Thanksgiving. I've been trying to rekindle traditions. We went downtown. That was a bummer. It used to be cool. Now it's not. Even went with my brother to cut down a Christmas tree. Didn't do it for me. It's been a struggle. I don't know what it is. I'm thinking the missing piece of it is we don't have dome weather yet. I've not seen a flake of snow stick to the ground yet. And it's really messing with my Christmas spirit this year.
I think we had that one little brush of snow. You might have been in Dallas at that point.
It's like a little dusting, like start of November.
So,
who cares about that?
Okay.
I need a post-Thanksgiving, good snow, shovel gets out, crispness in the air, like the stuff that's in the songs. I have nothing that's in the songs.
I was going to ask you, have you been listening to Christmas music?
I'm listening to Christmas music. I've watched the Santa Claus 1 and 2. I've watched
Elf.
Elf's a standard. I've watched 5 different varieties of A Christmas Carol, the Dickens version. Of course, the Alistair Sim is the tops. 1953 Alistair Sim version. That's the best one.
Okay.
Miracle on 34th Street. I've watched both versions of that already. I've even sat through some really crappy Hallmark movies with the wife.
Doesn't your wife put out 4 to 5 Christmas trees?
Yes, we have a Colts Christmas tree. She was a real big Colts fan in the past. Very random. She was a big Jim Harbaugh fan, and then followed Jim Harbaugh to the Colts, and that's how it led that way. I have no idea. I don't know. She's a preteen girl. I thought Jim Harbaugh was hot. Who knows?
Okay.
So that's 1. 2, the second Christmas tree is my kid's random love for the Padres, and now it's become my wife's love for the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
So then she decorated an entire Padres tree. Don't quite understand that one, but that one is predominantly sitting in our living room for some reason. We cut down a 4-foot tree, so that one's sitting in the front entrance. That one's actually traditionally decorated, which is nice. And then we have our own, stock Christmas tree. Nice little fake 8.5-footer sitting right in the middle of the living room. So,
have you gone Christmas shopping, or is it the fact that everything's online now?
That's part of it. So, did Christmas shopping. I haven't done an adequate amount of mall walking. I'm thinking this weekend is probably. I think Sunday's got to be a Schaumburg mall walk, maybe. It's pretty scary. Like another thing, and this is a little pro tip for those of you newly married, possibly, that could be listening to this, or
Frank
have kids, or like you have young kids, right?
Yeah.
You know what I've noticed is we've done all of the traditions that I used to do with my parents, and that Gail's done with her parents, and we never really did a good job of making our own traditions.
Mm.
Like with my parents, we went to the exact same Hardee's and ate the exact same meal and went to the exact same tree farm every year. And at the time, I thought that was dumb. But guess what? Got me in the Christmas spirit every year because we're doing the exact same thing the day after Thanksgiving, and I knew exactly what we were going to do. So I don't know. I don't know what the right approach is, but my Christmas spirit is, I'm on Elf. I'm like on that part where it's not necessarily I'm not believing in Santa Claus. It's just my Christmas spirit's really low.
The best way to spread Christmas cheer
is loud for everyone else to hear.
Maybe we need to do that, and then it'll put you in a good mood.
That was the line of lines right there.
Yeah. Do you think...
It was even weirder because you stared right into my eyes.
I had nowhere else to look, Andy. Nowhere else to look. Do you think the idea of traditions has gone away?
Totally.
just because people are, I'm so busy. I don't.
Totally. And everything's for the gram and all this other garbage. Yes. Oh my God. It's
kind of sad.
So right. And like people are trying to like create, I mean, good in a way that people are trying to create these fun Hallmark type experiences, but like, I'm not going to wait in line to like see some fake, like, I don't know, Santa Claus scene or something like that. Like it's my kids are too old for that stuff. And it's just not, I don't know. I like organic. I like just like, again, like the snowfall, give me all that stuff. That's what I want. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Like I either want really cold, a lot of snow, or none at all. Give me Florida. So I want northern Wisconsin or Florida. That's what I want. I don't want this in between murky 50-degree garbage. Give me full on Christmas snow. Give me the stuff that's in the songs.
Yeah. Hey, I'm all good with that. I was just saying I wish we had some snow. If it's going to be chilly or cold, just at least give me some scenery with it.
Right.
So
I live in northern Illinois, I guess, for a reason, amongst other reasons. I don't want Tennessee weather.
Yeah. You'd live in Tennessee.
I do like Tennessee, but I want snow.
Okay. Well, this is going to be a fun little episode and a walk down memory lane. Speaking of going back to traditions and people, we have a special guest that you and Superintendent Ben Kelnhofer spoke with over Zoom.
Yeah, I'm not going to put you through the torture of pronouncing his name. It's Visanu Tongwarin, affectionately known as V, a staple at Mistwood for years. Was the head pro here for 15 years. It's funny, V was my first boss on the backdrop. So at the time, we had myself, Dan Bradley, and Mike Baldwin, kind of three guys that have kind of taken the reins in the last 10 or 15 years and different things that have happened on this property. And V was amongst kind of the start of it. V was the OG and really kind of took it to the next level. Was that stalwart for a number of years at Mistwood and such an important piece. So it was kind of neat. Popped up on Facebook about a week ago that V is a quarter century member in the PGA, which is a really cool accomplishment and something to be really proud of. So our 25th year, V's 25th year just seemed to like perfectly correspond. And so we had him on the pod.
Well, let's get right to it. Here is Andy and Ben Kelnhofer talking with our old friend V.
We have a special guest here, Visanu Tongwarin, longtime head professional here at Mistwood. It is an absolute pleasure to have you on. I haven't seen you in a few years. When was the last time you were out there, Ben?
Couple years ago we were out.
Years ago?
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for having me.
So popped up on my radar, and I guess I should have realized that you were pretty close to it, but just turned quarter century member with the PGA. What does that kind of mean to you?
Well, it came up quick. It was on my radar for like probably the past few years, saying, okay, it'll take forever for this 25-year thing. And I didn't think it was a big deal. And I just knew like you just get the pin and the certificate. And so some of my peers are starting to get that too. And they're starting to announce it. So, that's pretty cool. But yeah, it kind of creeps up on you. Just, like, I mean, I just realized that after you asked me to do this, like, well, the year I got my membership is obviously the year I started at Mistwood.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, time flies. So, just even my dad said the other day, man, I can't believe you've been a pro for that long. So time flies.
What kind of made you get into the business? I remember you going to New Mexico State, and you're kind of still a proud alum. And I know you had connections like back when, I was working for you back in the early 2000s. I remember you always having like strong connection there. What made you kind of choose the PGM path and go to New Mexico State?
Pretty much I wasn't good at anything else, I guess. It's more of a default. It's like, I can hit a golf ball semi-straight, so with a curve. I'll always be like that, I guess. Just out of high school, I went to boarding school and they even had their own golf course, and I just love going there playing, and like I said, I was pretty good at numbers. Accounting was on my radar, but the golf has numbers on the scorecard, so I figured, that's kind of the same thing. So I got some some weird looks from my parents saying like, guys, like, we prepped you all this time to put, for you to go to a big university, a big successful whatever doctor or lawyer or whatever you want to call it, but they were pretty shocked, and they were probably reluctant for a few years of me actually becoming golf pro. So yeah, I just there's nothing else better to do. I fell in love with the game the past few years in high school.
Yeah, and then you came out. So you come out of that program, then you apply for your status. Where did kind of choosing Mistwood or choosing to come to Mistwood fall in? Like, did you apply for an open position? What was I can't remember back that far because I was in college working here. And when did that start? Was that 99 or 2000?
That was 99 spring. It's kind of funny how Mistwood came into my lap, because I remember Mistwood was a new course. Everyone was talking about it. I was at Cantini, and I had an apprentice position, and I was just about to my PGA membership. And then
was Danny Mulder still there?
Yeah, Danny was there. Danny, Jeff Padula, Greg Barron. There were the assistants there, and right when
staff.
it was a great staff. Yeah,
that's a strong staff.
Yeah, Craig Jones is there. I think all of us are still in the business. So I knew about it. I heard about it, and then I find out that I didn't have any assistant position for me at Cantini because no one was really moving. And so I don't want to become a PGA member and be an apprentice at a golf course. I love Cantini, and I heard about Mistwood, and I remember back then it was the PGA had a monthly newsletter because the internet wasn't that big back then. So the back page will always say what jobs are out there. So you just have to wait 30 days to see what jobs are out there to see word of mouth somewhere. So I remember seeing it, the Mistwood one, and for a reason I just didn't apply, and I guess maybe before I knew I wasn't going anywhere to Cantini. And then the next month, I just remember it disappeared. And so, okay, someone got that first position at Mistwood, and then 3-4 weeks later, Greg Walker, he used to work at Cantini, which I knew, and obviously, Dave Walker's there, still there. Greg told me, hey, we were talking about positions. He goes, oh yeah, you should go apply at Mistwood. I'm like, no, it's gone. I'm like, I saw the newsletter and there's gone. I'm like, someone had to take it. He goes, no. He goes, I'm pretty sure it's there because I know Andy Skachewski and Kevin Siri and Dan Plus. I'm pretty sure it's still open. I'm like, okay. It's like, well, let me know. And Greg comes back to me and tells me, yeah, it's still open. I'm like, oh, okay. So, and I remember contacted Andy, and it was right before the Illinois PGA show or some kind of whatever show that was. And basically it was kind of typical Andy said, hey, just meet us out for lunch, at the show one day. I'm like, okay, so I'll be there too. And
wasn't there an Olive Garden thing?
That used to be everything. That nothing to do.
We can talk about that later.
That nothing to do with
the opposite.
Yeah, that's the opposite.
That's the opposite. They're getting hired.
All right, keep going. All right.
Yeah, so I actually had a few interviews that same day. I remember I interviewed head pro from Trapper's Turn and maybe Mission Hills, I think it was. And then I remember and Andy and Kevin wanted to meet me. And so I remember I met them over lunch. They're just stuffing their face with the food, I could tell they're busy with stuff. And they're asking me a few questions. I'm like, okay, this is kind of a weird interview. It's like, I'm like, so I left the interviews. I have no idea how that went. So it's guys are always busy. They're not really they're whatever. So that's how it came about. Then I think maybe a few days later, Andy called up and said, hey, we want you. So
that's awesome.
That's what I said. It was meant to be, I guess.
That's awesome. All right. So Ben, you've been 21 years?
It's my 20th season.
20th season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Give me your best you and Ben K story. This can be anything. Probably keep it PG-13. But you and your best Ben K story.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of R-rated ones between Ben and I, and probably some other ones from our staff trips. I remember.
I'm getting into
What?
staff trips later.
Okay. No. Well, I remember meeting Ben, and obviously I think you worked for Dave, right? Is it Dave Pendle? Okay. And I remember like within a few weeks we had a staff get together at Jackhammer's game. I remember you brought David to the game, and I didn't know you that well. We just met, started hanging out. And during the Jackhammer's game, we're all just sitting there. I remember you were like in the front row of our group. And then within a few innings, I just look up and I see this guy with no shirt on, with his son, no shirt on, just waving his shirt around to the joy of Jackhammer's game. I'm like, that's our superintendent. So I just remember the first time. Okay, that's how it's going to be, huh? So after that, I guess.
You still do all that.
Oh yeah, I'm the ultimate fan. Come on.
So that was kind of PG-13, just me kind of knowing who Ben was. So
then I would say the next topic that I wanted to hit, because these things were kind of a thing of legend, were the staff trips. One of the funniest things I ever heard, if you guys could tell me if you want to share it, the Walt Szymanski story, and you were, I think.
Wait, the towel?
Yes, the towel. You have to share. I mean, find a way between you two to like have it be not too graphic, but man, it's one of the funniest stories ever. Everyone has.
Yeah, it was so funny when it happened, and I just couldn't believe it was happening. And long story short, Eric Lee, who used to work with one of the Mr. Bad Drop kids, real quick. I actually texted him last night. I was going to bed like, man, I don't remember a lot of stories that I'm going to talk about this thing. So I texted Eric real quick and I asked him, hey, you remember any stories? Like, I just can't remember a lot of them. Because from your mind, what stood out to you? The first thing he said was the towel story. So
you're a really good storyteller. Do you want to read it?
Let's just say a certain individual got into a pinch, I guess, and
yeah, it happens, right?
yeah, he had to use the bathroom, and there weren't a lot of resources available.
Well, we were at Pass Christian Isles in Mississippi,
in the middle of the Gulf.
Yeah.
And, individual went to the bathroom and took care of his business and decided it might be funny just to leave that golf towel right in the middle of the cart path. And our group got up to the green.
Yeah, I was with you.
We're getting ready to putt out, and we hear a big yell from the middle of the fairway behind us, and it was Szymanski. Love Walt Szymanski. And he's got the towel in his hand, and he's waving it back and forth, saying, "Hey, somebody dropped their towel." Needless to say, we had to take a 5-minute break before any putt out, but I think we yelled back, "Hey, just leave it right there. We'll come back and get it."
I'm pretty sure it was the Mizuno towel. For whatever reason, Mizuno towel, just the brand that we remembered.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you guys had a dancing rabbit trip, right? Where, like, isn't New Orleans like 2 hours away? But you guys thought it was a great idea, just all going to New Orleans and trying to find your way back home.
I don't know if we went to New Orleans when we were at the Dancing Rabbit.
No, I think the Dancing Rabbit trip was the first one we ever did down south, and yeah, it was. And we didn't go to New Orleans. The year after is the when I went down separately with Drendel and Shamit before everyone went down there. We flew down there. So we didn't fly, or we didn't drive. Let's just fly down there. Go to Fat Tuesday or whatever it was. A few days before everyone arrived. And then the third trip, I think, was when. Yeah, I think it was the third trip was when Shamit, me, and Drendel was like, we all gonna go down there for Mardi Gras or whatever. So that's what we did.
And for those,
Paco got lost too, right?
a couple times.
Yeah, a
couple times. And for those of you that may not know, the Dancing Rabbit is a golf resort. 2 courses, really nice place,
Yep.
reservation, casino.
It does
Arnold
sound,
Palmer, look it up, make sure Arnold Palmer design or necklace.
Yep, it was nice.
it's nice.
It is.
Yeah, it's like top 10 in the country right now for best affordable golf trips. It's
I
like there.
I can see that. It was
That was the one where Travis Cedergren passed out in the lobby.
for hours. Yeah.
Until the next morning, we woke up
Yeah.
and he was passed out in the lobby.
That's also where there was an endless supply of Corona in the bathroom flower pot. Remember that?
Yeah, that's where he hit it.
Yeah.
Oh, staff trips.
Wanna go any more? No? Any more than that?
I mean, you could go deep at the Dancing Rabbit.
No, there's one where you put someone's head went through a hotel hallway wall.
That was the Dancing Rabbit.
It was?
No, that was
No, that was Biloxi.
yes, that was Biloxi.
That's when I screwed up in the hotel rooms, and we had to split up the first night, and then everyone got, I don't know, everyone got really fun.
That was one of many mistakes that you made, G.
No, that was a mistake. That was just the wall was in the way. I shouldn't have been there, So, no, but the best thing I remember on the TAP trips is the casino tables. That is one of the best times I've had. Of just every year when you go down, we have some kind of thing. As the first year, I remember, was every time the teeter busted, and everyone on the table, the whole table would just chant, "No, ole, 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 ole." Then one was the next year, same thing happened, and whenever the dealer busted again, everyone won. And it says everybody wins at Casino Magic.
Everybody.
And then the third one was the East one, check change. I mean, we were
Check change 5.
change
Check
five.
change 5.
The casinos loved us. We never got. I mean, we were a fun bunch of group. They knew we were all drunk, but we didn't do anything stupid. We were just having fun. Yeah, we were definitely loud, but they really enjoyed us. So this kind of shows us that we had a special group of guys. most. You see these guys like that. Some guys would get kicked out, or one or two guys kicked out. But I mean, we were always in check, keeping each other in check, making sure we all had a good time, but don't cross the lines with anything else.
The time that we had the everybody wins at Casino Magic, we literally had taken over a whole pie gow table. And
Oh yeah,
everybody at the table was winning except for Bill Hanley. He was
He's always in a good mood.
But anytime somebody would win a hand, we would say that. And then I'm not kidding, within a half hour, every time somebody would win at that table, the whole casino would yell, "Everybody wins at Casino Magic." And I'm looking at pit bosses and I'm like, "Hey, do you need us to tone it down a little bit?" And he goes, "No, keep going. Everybody's having a good time."
Yeah, it was.
All right, I got 2 more non-Mistwood things. You want to talk about your thriving music career with the Big Divots and the controversy that might have been with your lead singer over the years?
Oh, lead singer. Which one? We had 2 of them.
That's what I'm saying. Move on from the first
Sounds like it's like Van Halen, right? I mean, like both of them were good, and
You were drums.
What's that?
You were drums, right?
He played drums. I played.
Right.
You played bass. Paco played
Guitar and sang.
guitar.
Yep.
Sang and played tambourine and other percussion instruments.
Triangle.
Bill Hanley played, but those were like he just came for the guitar lessons.
So I was there, I think, for your biggest musical achievement, which was playing the back patio at McBrody's.
That's the only music achievement we've never
That's
played.
what I'm saying. That was the only time I think you ever played
Few times.
outside of your house. What was that like leading up to that? What came to that decision that you guys need to take your act to the road?
Well, I remember.
We begged to let him.
That was kind of like our hangout spot way back in the day. I remember. Yeah.
Well, I just remember. I remember walking into Bill Hanley's house probably back then, which was my house later. I commandeered it, by the way.
Oh, we're getting to that. We're getting to that.
I just remember Paco teaching Hanley. I remember in Hanley's chair, they're playing the guitar, and at first I'm like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be terrible. This is a terrible decision." An idea for Hanley to teach Hanley guitar lessons. I remember telling Paco, I was like, "You have time for this?" And then after a while, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like he's actually putting strums together as some rhythm." And then I remember you, Ben. I remember like. And I think we mentioned it, but you said, "Oh, I have a little bass and so forth." And then it just all came together. I think we did it one winter. So we were bored, and so this is what happened. We put 4 non-talented people together and try to play music. So I think after a while, I think it surprised us. I think Paco obviously was the key of teaching Ben, teaching Hanley, singing. Picking the easiest songs possible. I mean, the easiest songs possible for all 4 of us to play at the same time, which is pretty. But it sounded good. And then after that, I said, let's go play out in public, I guess.
You guys weren't bad. What was your best cover song? You guys feel like?
Well, there's so many.
They were all good. They were all good.
Well, Jet was Ben and I's favorite song.
Yeah. That was
Oh yeah, you guys used to play that. Yeah.
Yeah, Blue on Black. I think you hated that song a little bit, didn't you?
I just got tired of playing it over and over again.
No, it is crazy. To this day, I hear so many of our songs we played. I tell my wife, she looks at me and Karen, she's like, "Yeah, whatever."
You don't hear Shrimp Float Avenue.
Yeah, you don't hear the originals though. Those originals are pretty good.
That was an original.
Okay, so you became a boarding house for a number of years for a lot of Mistwood staff. Talk about that. A, how it came about. B, some of like kind of your crazier moments. I remember when you took that house over. I think I was maybe working at Second Swing at the time, and I came over. I don't know, we were playing poker or something like that. I come over and I just see a bunch of grown-ass adults sitting in the living room playing Halo with on like a bunch of nerds. But like, give me some like, how did that all come about? I know like it used to be Bill's house, and it became your house, and like, just kind of tell some stories about that place.
Well, I think it came down to whenever unfortunately Bill got divorced again. Poor Bill. So when he got, he had a big house, 4 bedrooms, actually maybe 4.5 bedrooms, and that's when Paco was hired at Mistwood, and he was doing his own thing, like somewhere at a local course, helping teaching. And then I needed a place to stay as my second or third year there, because I was moving into some apartments and living with some friends. And Hanley asked me to just come stay with him. I was like, I'll stay with you. There's only a few miles away from the house. And then I think it was us 3 at first. So there's still an extra bedroom. And then I think maybe Jim Sterling. Because Hanley would say, well, the more I fill this room with these single guys, I can, I can pay my own rent. I'll pay my own mortgage. So he just started filling it. Next thing you know, like every year the system would leave, but then the system would come in. Even the superintendent would come in for a while. Right, I think Tony came in and lived with us for a few weeks. He had some
really?
Going on.
Yeah. How did that work out?
Tony?
Oh no, I mean like I'm not saying how did he get there. Like, yeah, Tony being a housemate of like Paco had to be. Were there ever housemates together? That had to be wild.
Like in the same room?
No. Like same house, just 2 very different guys. I think. This is my.
Oh, gotcha. We all. Hanley started becoming one of us, and Hanley worked probably less than all of us. So, he had a really good job, and we come home, and after lunch, he's sitting there dead asleep in his chair watching Oprah, whatever it was. I mean, we have that, it's like it just happened that way. I think we had I think we called it bathhouse, and it's pretty funny because I met some of my neighbors just at the trail end when I went to Colorado, and everyone was like, and I even met the guy behind me. Like he played golf, and he figured out that I was a pro there. He's like, I was wondering what was wrong with your house. I thought like you guys were selling drugs or like, just some frat party. Some you guys do some illegal things. Like no, we're just we're just golf pros that work hard, have fun, and and because we're all single.
And countless $100 throw-in poker games going. Basically,
Halo games.
No big deal.
Yeah, the best story I remember was when back in the days when we would go out like downtown Joy at 2:00 in the morning, and so forth. I remember Sterling was in the hallway across from me, and I had him own the house back then because I was the master. And I remember he opened the next morning, which happens all the time. We always go out, no matter what, you open the next morning, you're going out with us. And for some reason, I always leave my phone on, as I was Jim's head pro. I was head pro and Jim was my assistant. And I always leave my phone on in the morning just in case I'm the third person in line to come open the pro shop, open the course. If no one else answered, no one's there to open it. And I remember for wherever that night, I didn't turn on my phone on loud. So obviously I'm sleeping in, and only thing I remember was someone banging on my door like at 5:45 in the morning, and I hear someone just yelling at Sterling across the hallway. It was Andy Krajewski, our GM. Oh, he can't get a hold of anyone. Couldn't get a hold of Jim. Couldn't get a hold of the second person. Can't get a hold of me.
Over. Yeah.
So I don't know if he drove. Yeah, had drove over. And he actually knew the combo. Obviously, he came to our house. He knew Jim's open. He didn't bang on my door. Well, he might have, but I just remember our GM walking to our house and just basically waking up the whole staff to come up to the golf course. Like that doesn't happen that often in the golf business where that happens.
That's pretty good to only have that happen like one time.
Well, that's
pretty impressive
with Jim.
Yeah, with Jim. No, we've all done it before.
Yeah.
We had one person that was just common. It's commonplace.
Oh.
Show up a half hour late.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. All right. With both you guys sitting here, and we'll start getting to some Mistwood stuff. What were kind of both your initial thoughts as a bulldozer's driving through the third fairway, third green for the course redesign? Even talk through like kind of leading up that, because you guys were part of the conversation. I mean, I can remember hearing once Jim, took ownership of Mistwood. I mean, everybody had kind of in the back of their mind, okay, we can kind of take this place to the next level. We can do something better, bigger and better. And I felt like those talks were even happening like mid-2000s.
Oh, yeah.
Before ground was broken. So like kind of walk through, or kind of both of you tell a story like through that whole process.
I think the first thing was the tees and the bridges. That's when I think he finally kind of broke down. He finally broke into the ground. Say, this is my start. I just hit the tees and bridges, the stuff that obviously that needed the infrastructure to make the course work. And then we took like a year off or something. And then I mean, you probably remember better than I do, Ben, of the stages. And then we were closed a few times too, not just once, but two or three times, I think.
And I think initially there was no plan to renovate the golf course. I mean, we were strictly talking about a clubhouse build. And the more and more we got into it, and the deeper we got into it, we realized that we really didn't have a big enough footprint for a clubhouse. And we'd had some other ideas as to where to maybe put it, but those didn't work out either. So in order to really make it work, we had to make some room. And that's kind of what started the ball rolling on moving the third green. And why don't we fix the flooding problems? And so why don't we have all these sidewalk bunkers? And it just kept unraveling. Yeah. And then the next thing you know, we have a huge master plan, and clubhouse gets pushed back, and we do a renovation of the golf course first, and then from there, the performance center. And I'd like to think we had a pretty good plan, but it just kind of naturally happened on its own for the most part. So I remember standing on the back patio of the old clubhouse the day that we started excavation on the golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First blade from the first bulldozer went right through the third fairway. McClethy looked over at me with big eyes and he goes, "Are we really doing this?" And I looked at him and I said, "Well, we can't go back now."
Yeah.
Just ripped the third fairway. And
No, it's surreal. It's surreal watching like big equipment going through greens and fairways. I'm like, man, it's like it looks too good to do. You know, whenever you got nice green fairways, perfect shaped greens, and just someone just bulldozing it, just surreal.
like,
It was
nothing.
It was a bummer to kind of see the third hole blown up, because that was one of my favorite holes. It had like such like a cool little nuance to the green. Everyone that like came from the outside hated that green.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool little like a finger in the middle, kind of finger down the right, and the little tongue on top. You know, when you hit that tee shot, you try to hit it on one of the 3 mounds on the upslope, and like maybe you'd have a chance to go for it. And two, so it had like kind of this like little local knowledge thing. There's a few of those spots where I think selfishly playing the course thousands of times like we had, it's like I wish a few of those were still in there. I think we still have some of those, but it was fun in its imperfection, I would say, on some of those holes. Or even I think back to number 1 or number 7, which became number 1. Like that big tree that used to sit right next to the creek.
Yes, right next
to kind of define that tee shot.
Yep.
Like I missed that one, but there was a little apple tree on the left side. Now number 2. Yeah. I don't think we've ever done a good job of trying to kind of make that penalty the same as it was. But that apple tree was a pain in the butt.
Oh.
Your ball would find underneath it all the time.
It was brutal. I used to stay on the second green and pray for a back pin on 3. Try to look up there. It's a par 5 going, oh, what color is that pen?
Or you had like that old willow that would hang over the corner. Yeah. You're like, what in the hell? I just hit a good wedge shot. It catches the willow, goes and then.
We should have done that on the last day of the Women's Open. We had we played the 8-hole playoff. The same 2 girls backed up on that hole.
Yeah.
They played it 8 times, I think they did, until someone won.
Was there any holes like that stuck out, kind of pre-redesign and post design that kind of stuck out to you? Or are they the same holes that you liked before and liked after, or any kind of particular hole that really sticks out to you?
I think 12 had the biggest like visual. I mean, obviously besides 3, but I thought 12 was, with just the way the new bridges there, the sawwall bunkers. I thought that was a pretty hole. I mean, I think just from the pictures, what we've taken after the renovation, just saying, oh my gosh, like just looking at the hole, just like, oh my gosh, just beautiful. Just, I mean, from what it was before, just just a regular hole, short hole, had a little bunker on the left, maybe that you maybe saw, but I think 12 was the most prettiest size, and like just the way it looked changed from the first to the new one.
We did a pro tip video. I don't know if you saw it with Big Frank talking about number 12. He goes, "This is a risk reward par 4. Sometimes I try to drive the green or lay up." I'm like, what in the F are you talking about? 363 from the back tee. None of us are actually doing it. It was like one of his first videos that he did with us, and it was like, Frank, come on now. You got to like talk to the human beings in the videos. Yeah, it's a risk reward par 4.
He didn't say he used 3-wood too, did he?
Yeah.
I think those two new back tees are really what enhanced the visual aesthetic of that hole, because we never had those before, and they went back.
That's right. Yeah.
So it was a whole different view from up there, which is awesome.
So I remember, I was just kind of always around Mistwood when that was happening, and I remember you guys talking about it wasn't ever a realistic goal to have basically 12 tee go down 5 fairway and 5 to go down 12 fairway. Was that ever a realistic thing?
Yeah, I don't remember that one there. Yeah, I think we discussed it, but I think like too much came from it. I mean, I could be wrong, but Ben, you're probably more in those meetings and discussions than I was.
I think everything was on the table. I think about everything was.
No, what? Yeah, because you're trying to lengthen. You were trying to lengthen the course, like literally by the yard. We're just trying to get every yard possible. I mean, to hit that 7,000 yard mark.
Yeah, I mean, the first question that everybody asks is they stand on the back tee of 3. They turn around and see a mound like 70 yards back. They're like, what's this all about? I'm like,
yeah.
7,000 yards. Had to be 7,000 yards back in the day, I guess. That was the benchmark. So
I'd say that's a junior tee for hole number 6.
oh, it's a great 25-yard tee for hole number 6. I agree.
Yeah.
I even know at one point we really wanted to put the clubhouse on the big lake.
Yeah, it changed the whole routing of it.
Yeah, and in order to do so, we couldn't do it with the amount of land that we had, and we looked at the land north of number 12.
Yeah.
All the way out to Airport Road.
Yeah.
A lot of it was wetlands, but there was enough to squeeze 3 holes out there. But
so I've thought about that because you could have. And I remember you guys saying this. Why couldn't you have just kind of blown up 17? Was there not enough room to have, or was it wetlands to have like a parking lot where 17's at? Have a clubhouse basically butting up to 8 green, moved up 8 green, and basically where everything is right now, like that we're sitting in, could have been a par 3.
There were a lot of drawings and ideas that went around. The new entrance would have been at 17, the stoplight.
Yep.
Parking lot would have been the 18th fairway. Clubhouse would have been where the 8th green is. Pretty much.
So you do lose.
8 would have been shortened. We lost 18.
Yeah.
You probably could have squeezed a par 3 in where the existing clubhouse and parking lot is. Maybe. Yeah. But then you're still down a hole because 16 and 17 probably would have become 1 hole.
And the range too.
Yeah, and then the range would have been a little difficult to do without purchasing additional land, and it just wasn't available. So, but in hindsight, what we got, everything worked out, and it's good. Fantastic. So,
speaking of the old clubhouse, any nightmare stories about the old clubhouse?
Oh man.
Oh, it's every morning walking in
tanks
there.
In the bottom of
Who's pouring the bleach down the toilet this morning?
We got a clog.
Oh man! I remember that the card staging area too. It was so dangerous because it's so small. And I remember Chef Jim Shamit, his kid, got a cart by accident, hit the accelerator and jumped over the little rock thing and hit the clubhouse. And it was so dangerous and it was so small. So it's not just inside, but around the clubhouse. So good riddance to that guy.
My first day of work, May 3rd, 2003. First day head-on collision with a member coming around the cart barn.
Yeah, I believe it.
It was pouring down rain. He was going backwards. I was going forwards back to the shop, and he blamed it on me. He was the one driving backwards. If you're listening, you know who you are.
Bolio?
Yeah.
Was it Bolio?
It was Eddie.
Yeah, I figured it was Eddie.
It was Eddie.
Speaking of...
He had a few choice words for me. Let's put it that way.
Speaking of members, like, is there any that kind of stick out to you? I mean, you talked about handling a little bit. Obviously, Bolio, the virus, he stands out. Is there any, like, members or good stories that kind of stick out to you kind of over the years?
Oh, man. Ooh. Man, just... memberships, it's one thing that I always remember when you asked me about this, I'm like, I just remember like how does a pro like go 3 members, right? And I just remember 3 is the number. I remember I had 3 members go just because they didn't enjoy the place. They're treating the staff poorly but I mean, I think about 3 out of the 16 years I was there is not that bad, right? I think overall the membership was. I think they said we were always talking about we were a family, right? And I think all the events that we did and the after parties after the members dinner and some of the members joining us on some staff trips when there's room. I think it's crazy how like me being here in Colorado, obviously went from like having a family, and next thing you know, like I'm away from everyone, and it's that the good news is that some members are visiting me, and Jim Hively visited me last fall.
Yeah.
So I talked to Dave Stevens the other day, and I think overall, I think we kind of made a precedent when we didn't have an interview process, but we had a kind of get to know each other to make sure, hey, we were kind of making sure, hey, make sure this is the right place for you. You can afford it. You can afford it 4 times over if you can. You can, but the thing is, we want to make sure you're a good fit to us. And I think that was a good thing having Jim as the owner. He said, he doesn't want those members out here that doesn't take care of the golf course or treats the staff poorly. So we were lucky to have that option to interview him and to say, you'd be a great fit. Kind of laid out the law. Hey, this is who we are. That when you're a member, you represent us, you represent the staff, and we're all here to get along. So So I think even to you guys now, I think you guys are still in such a good area where you can maybe do that, and I've seen clubs out here and they're just like some members take advantage of some courses and just treat the staff poorly and say, man, it's like I wish they were in the situation we were, or you guys are now. So
yeah, I mean we've been fortunate, obviously COVID and everything else, but it's like the pipeline's just gotten that much bigger. Now we're at 225 members, where when you had left, it was probably around 75 or 80. I mean, it was just under 100. Yeah. And but it's still the same premise. It's like, I learned that from kind of just being around Mistwood, from guys like you. Like I tell it all the time. Like even when new members are joining, like, hey man, the only way to know if this is worth it or the right place, the ones that actually participate are actually part of this place, part of what we're doing. Actually participated, the Friday game, the Albatross, that was created all the way back in whenever. We're playing that every Friday. So it's be part of the club, be part of the traditions, and you'll get it. You'll understand why people are here and why there's kind of a glue to this place. So it's pretty cool that still a lot of that stuff's around. I mean, the 4th of July event. Did you start that, or was that started before you?
Yeah, I did that one. I wanted to do something that, remember Mike Baldwin kind of threw on the tees, and back then we had red, white, and blue tees, and I said, "Oh, this is perfect for this." So I did that one. And jambalaya, everyone has a chili open. Yeah. Everyone has a chili open. It's like let's just do something that's tastier.
So here's a crazy stat. Last year, our kitchen said that we served almost 700 pounds of food to 144 players.
That's
goodness.
100 pounds of food.
Wow. It must have been cold that day.
That's a lot of andouille sausage.
Any good staff member stories that we haven't hit? I mean, I know most of those are probably on trips and stuff, but I was trying to like poke Russell and Ariati, and it's like, man, they make you out to be a super straight-laced guy, V. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, they were too good. I mean, yeah, we all had good times, but they're too good of boys. God bless them. But they were part of the shenanigans. Oh yeah. Glad I brought those two up. So I'm glad those two are still there, and being assistants to me. So it's awesome that you guys are taking care of them, and hope they're happy there. And I know they're changing rules here and there, which is cool. To change things up sometimes. That's one thing that when I came out here, I enjoyed just changing up the role, just changing up something that I didn't do for that long. So Yeah, I'm glad. I see you guys do this. You guys still did the staff thing. Like you guys kind of brought it out for the staff day or staff.
Yeah, we
Staff. Awesome.
yeah, we kind of created a what was it, the bocce ball tournament?
Watching ball.
That's fun. It's interesting, just kind of the overall growth that we've had. You know, we have a new restaurant this year and such, and kind of the next big thing on our radar is adding another dome and things like that. But like, you're still sticking to the core values, like you guys, you know, leading into, you know, some of that stuff I was exposed to right as you were leaving and I was coming in, like, you know, there's still kind of that old feeling of being in the trailer, right? There's like still like the same kind of fundamentals are driving everything. So it's like, if it fits in the buckets that kind of made Mistwood, then we are still pursuing it, even though, you know, stuff's changed, we've gotten bigger or whatever. It's still the same kind of fundamentals. So this year's Mistwood's 25th. 20 of those years, Jim McGuethy was the owner or the family.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. What's kind of like your fondest memories of Jim, or even tell a story about Jim like that would expose him? Like you might tell something, Ben, whatever you got.
Well, I mean, believe it or not, I still have dreams about him. It's crazy. I mean, like, I still have dreams once in a while. I probably had, I don't know, he's in my dreams once in a while, just like, because I have Mistwood dreams, and then he's always there. And one thing I tell a lot of assistants here, assistant pros here, and so forth. And I just had a mentorship thing the other day, and I told them, hey, it's like, when I was at Mistwood, and it said, as a pro and you're out the face of the facility, I told them that, hey, every time I talk to a guest, a member, or whoever, or even another employee, is I always imagine my owner, Jim McGuethy, beside me. And I said, that's how I treated myself at work. So I represent him. He trusted me 100% on how to run a golf course. You know, so he trusts me how to treat guests, no matter, you know, if they're belligerent or whatever. So I'm still professional, be fair, you know, and that's the thing that always drove me to, you know, to always become better, no matter who it was, no matter if I see him all the time or guest the first time I met him. It's like, hey, how would Jim was right beside me, how would I treat this person? And that's what kind of got me going of you know, there's guest services. You know, it's like, it might be my millionth guest, but to him, this first time in Mistwood. I just remembered, you know, he's such a humble guy, and you know, you would never guess, like I said, you guys never guess that he would own a golf course, you know, and always proud of what he did, and I just remember the pickles. I just remember we had so many meetings with, you know, with architects and engineers off site during that time, and we went out for lunch one time. There's an Oak Brook in the inn, and I remember mushrooms. He remembered he asked the lady, she goes like, what if I get mushrooms on this sandwich or something? And she'll, it'll be an extra 25 cents or 50 cents. He goes, okay, I'll go for it. So he gets the mushrooms, and somehow like there's a few of them fall off, and they're about to take away the plate and stuff. And literally, she had it on her, like on like she's about ready to take a step away from the table with his mother, and he saw there's like 2 mushrooms left on the plate, and he like, no, come back here. He was like, I gotta finish these 2 mushrooms. No, and that's the type of guy he is. You know, I was like, every little thing counts. Everything little thing meant something to it, no matter if it's, you know, money or just values or people or whoever they were. So I don't think I have one like exact thing besides just to embarrass him, but overall, I think. I never could embarrass him because I respected him too much, you know. So it was one of those things where.
Have you ever seen anybody draw a golf ball like he did from that steep of a position coming down?
Who?
Him. How steep he was coming down and be able to draw a golf ball? It took so much time.
We don't. I wasn't in the position to make fun of his swing. I actually never got a chance to help him on his swing. I think I was like 3rd or 5th on a list. I always wanted to give him a lesson, and just like, I'm going to help you out. And yeah, like I remember swinging real well, and I remember his navy shirts, navy black, his white and navy shirts polos daily. So
yeah. I think it's cool that you kind of referenced him in that way and how you remember him and the things that he provided, because even though, you know, he's not with us, Um, Sometimes when I find myself in a jam or trying to make a decision on something, it's not necessarily, you know, what would Jim do, but more so of, what would he want? And I
Right.
think about that at times, and it helps. So it's like, he's there in some capacity. So, and I always kind of, utilize that as a tool. It's like, okay, what would he do, or what would he want? And sometimes it helps with decision making and other things, and how we proceed forward with things. So
Yeah, and
it's really, really cool.
it's like until you're exposed to the environment too, like you don't understand what it means to like the whole phrase. We believe in high quality products and services, and it was like, coming from back from the business world, it was like cut every penny, cut every penny, cut every penny, cut every penny, and it was like, well, we have to do it the right way here first, then we'll worry about making money. We finally started making money, thank God.
Right.
Yeah.
Last few years.
Congratulations.
But thank you, COVID.
Mhm.
But it's interesting. It's just like, the way this place was wired and built is just different, different than others. And unless you're like part of it, you can't. It's hard to explain.
No, I think even to this day, sorry, Ben, go ahead.
I think from the get go too. We have had enough good people at this place that their passion, everything that's involved with that. I mean, there's some sense that it was. I never thought it was going to fail, because I always knew we had the right people in place, we had the right ideas, we were all in the same boat, rowing the same direction, and at some point it was all going to come to a head, and we're there. So it was it was a long haul, but I feel like we're finally where.
So it's like we hit the
we were headed.
25-year mark this year. It's like, what's the 50-year mark look like? I mean, I none of us are around. There's not a tie to it. It's like, I think about that too, like the legacy component, like, who's that next kind of, think of it, when you're head pro and I'm on bag drop, right? Like, who's that next person that's going to kind of continue the torch of this place? Because it's special to all of us. And that's kind of how I think sometimes. So when I'm like talking to a 16-year-old backstaff kid, and it's like, hey, what's the plan, or what are you thinking about? Or is there a plan? It doesn't need to be one, but
Right.
like just kind of seeing who that next crop is, because we just care about it in a different way.
No, I mean, like I said, not many courses are like Mistwood where, there's generations, like a family. I mean, these generations are taking over the family business. I'm pretty sure a lot of people there now know. Some people know, like you, Frank, Dan, and Bradley. I mean, you guys were back kids. It's crazy now. Now you guys are basically literally running the places, and you're right. Who's the next ones? Right? You never know. I mean, it's not to me like you'll probably always the way you'll probably hire within, just because your heart's got to be in the right place before you take any position there. That's needed.
They'll show up when you least expect it.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
So V, what are you up to now? What are you doing? You're living in Denver area, right?
Yep.
So
No, I'm playing a lot of golf. I'm not gonna lie. Huh?
What's a day in the life of V?
All right. So I just teach. I had a full-time position here and there as a player development coordinator with the city of Westminster, which has two courses, beautiful courses, two championship courses. It's cool that I can go back and forth and whatever. But I just want to, believe it or not, I fell in love with the game more and more and more. And even from last year, this year, I just want to play more golf for whatever reason. And I was thinking back, like, man, as head pro in Mistwood, like I'd play once in a while, and we played a lot, but like now I just want to play. I try to play 5 days a week. I know, kind of
awesome,
kind of obviously unattainable for a lot of people, but I actually joined my courses to actually play here. I'll wake up in the morning, I'll teach a few lessons in the morning. I call my book-in lessons. I'll go play some golf, and then I'll teach them lessons afterwards, and I'll go home and pick up the kids. So like that's. Yeah. So, as you know, I'm part of PGA Hope too. PGA Hope has become a big passion of mine this past year and a half. I did 3 I did 3 sessions. I'm actually started a 4th one in an indoor simulator place that I'm part of this winter. It's the weirdest thing. Like as soon as I went to Washington D.C. to get trained for PGA Hole, I came home. I mentioned, wow, this is my new thing. I was so excited. I thought it would be I knew like something in me, like I just knew, hey, teaching golf can be more impactful. It isn't just getting someone to love the game more, which is still fun, still awesome to do, and change their lives, hopefully, to introduce the game to them, make them love the game where they're out there playing all the time, sharing it with their family and friends. Yeah. But doing it for veterans is pretty cool. Actually, I had a meeting with my PGA Home ambassador before I came on here. He's actually one of my graduates. So he's our ambassador for our PGA section here in Colorado. So it's like, we meet all the time, and start new relationships. And so my passion now is just helping them out and trying to get more and more veterans through the program. And and showing them they know it's like golf can be a great outlet for you guys, great way to meet other veterans, and they're trying to start up different leagues for them, even be outdoor or indoors. That's kind of what my new passion is that. I came out of nowhere, to be honest with you. Just all of a sudden, boom, just.
That's cool. Yeah, I was at the PGA annual meeting last month, and it sounds like there's going to be some avenues or looking into, at least the next couple administrations, easier avenues for veterans to get involved as far as, even their PGA membership. So I think everyone unanimously is on board with that. The last couple of years, actually, it's funny kind of tying this all together with the McGuethy family. So we restarted the McGuethy Cup. So after Jim passed, we waited a couple of years, obviously the COVID implications and everything else too. We restarted McGuethy Cup, and the sole beneficiary of the first 2 years has been PGA Hope. I mean, it just made so much sense to align that with like Jim's core beliefs. I mean, a very patriotic guy whenever you're around him. And like, it feels like there is no better organization right now in golf to be getting behind and being a part of. So that's awesome that you've taken that on. It's kind of cool how kind of those are connected, just happen to be connected in the way that they are.
Yeah, I actually wanted to come down from the McGuethy Cup this year, and actually, believe it or not, that morning the next morning I had a PG Hope class, and said there's no way I get back in time.
You're always on the invite list if you ever want to come. And we had some veterans out too that were telling their story of. I don't think people understand it's way more than golf lessons to these people, or way more than just getting on the golf course. It's like literally changing their lives, which is crazy to us because we're sitting behind a desk and not really exposed to it. So
the stories that when we sit down and tell them, hey, this is obviously it's a veterans program first, golf program second, and just sitting down with them and hearing their stories. And we asked first thing we asked them to introduce themselves, what service branch you work for, where you in, how long, so forth. The stories they tell, and just like, and then after a while, they tell that they bond with each other, they bond with army to army, marine to marine. I think it's so cool that we can provide that platform for the integration of these people out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden, boom, now they're playing golf together. Now they become good friends, and now we build off of it. So I already have a handful of guys that play golf with each other that they never met before PGA Hope. So it's that's just the beginning of it. I truly look forward to more and more, as you know. So I'm glad you guys are supporting that too, and hope they can make it next year to help support it even more.
Yeah, that's great. How's your golf game? You said you're playing 5 times a week. You still hitting high draws, high bombs?
High draws, I'm not sure bombs. I am working on my swing. I think that's the reason why I just fell in love with the game, because I know there's another level, that I want to reach. I don't care about tournaments. I don't care where I place. I know personally that I could play better and improve over and over again. I think that was a challenge for me since I moved here in Colorado. I think I told Ben knows, and maybe I told you, Andy, it's like when I moved here, I wanted to change my whole swing. And it's taken 8 years so far. it's still going. Yesterday I was in the simulators and trying to work on my swing too. So it's cool that my wife supports me, my family supports me. But I'm not trying to make any tours by any means. I just know in my mind, I just know I can play better. That has renew this newfound love for the game. And I just want to play more and more and more. So
That's the mindset. It's funny you say that. That's the exact mindset. We have a parents' night. We're still, the CAP program's still alive and well. At Mistwood, it's kind of expanded, obviously, with more interest in junior golf. And the first night when we talked to the parents, I talked exactly what you just said, which is, I said, Nicole's sitting down there at the end of the end of the table. She's 55 years old, and she still thinks her next round is going to be the best round she's ever going to have. It's like you got to get in that mindset.
sure.
You do everything possible in order to have tomorrow's round be the best round you ever had. So it's kind of funny that you say that too. Maybe your best years are ahead of you. You never know. But that's kind of the craziness of golf, is you get in that mindset, and that's what good players do. And I had this come to Jesus meeting the other night with our players, not to sidetrack, but this kid's talking about, swing speed and where it looks, and he keeps recording the picture on his phone. And I look at the face, and it's just like dot, 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 all over the face.
Oh, yeah.
Look, when I was playing, we didn't have TrackMan. You hit it right here. So you can hit it right here. None of this other crap matters at all.
Yeah.
You sit here, then we worry about the other stuff. But until you're here, I don't even want to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just funny how, and I'm sure you've seen that, teaching more and more, just everything is about how it looks on Instagram, or how this and that, or what the TrackMan numbers are. It's like, if you hit it in the middle of the face, it'll be a 1-5 smash. I'll guarantee it. So why don't we do that? Why don't we do that first?
Yeah, I don't have too much equipment. I still teach kind of, I bring a club if you're training age, but I don't do much. And that's, I know I need to. I mean, it'll definitely help my students more and more, but I think I've done pretty good with just teaching them, the old ways, just talking to them, showing them.
What's the worst lesson you ever gave?
The worst?
Yeah, the worst lesson.
Probably me.
That's completely something.
Yeah.
Different way. Something that you might have taught 15 years ago that's completely wrong now. Now that science has caught up a little bit.
Oh man.
I still haven't recovered.
I refuse to listen.
Yeah, me teaching full time now is it's one of those things where I tell everyone I still have a lot to learn. I've been full time full-time teacher 8 years. He knows I taught a lot and Mistwood on the side. But every year, there's just new ways for me to explain it to my students. And sometimes it'll just come out during a lesson. I'll say it this way, oh, that's a pretty cool way I said that, and they'll say, oh, that's a good way to learn it that way. And I'm always learning different ways to convey our students. I hang out with a few buddies here, like this morning, yesterday. I hang out with a few other PGA pros that I'm actually learning from. And I was I'm trying to learn from them. I'm trying to learn from everyone possible, just so different way. But the biggest thing that I think the worst, when you first asked me the worst lesson, actually pretty funny, because there's a joke going around at my boss here about refunds. You don't really refund lessons, but I gave out 2 refunds the past 8 years. And I remember the names, because I just remember going home that night. So I just kind of felt sick to my mouth that I had to give a refund to. And those are the 2 guys. And think about it now. Those 2 guys just didn't wanted to hear what they wanted to hear. They didn't want to hear what I wanted to give them. Even though I gave them different angles. I gave them different ways to do it. So one of those things, and I always apologize. And one of those things we always say, I apologize for not helping you. And there's, I understand. You're probably a good teacher. Just didn't work for me. It was just completely fine, and it happens. But from now on, I think there's a trust issue. The biggest thing that every time I meet a new student, I tell them, hey guys, before we move on, and before we do anything, either be just holding the club, so forth. I need you to start with a clean slate in your mind. You've probably gone through YouTube videos. You had a lot of friends. You probably got through an instruction. And a lot of it's true. And a lot of it may not help you, but you're here seeing it for another reason. Obviously, something's either you really need help, or it's nothing to lose. So I try to build that trust before my first lesson, because if they don't trust me in the beginning, and it feels awkward to them, and I told them it's going to feel awkward and new to you. You got to trust me, and I told them you're going to say it to me just by default. Say, oh my God, this feels so weird. Exactly what I want to hear. So those 2 lessons are bad because maybe I think it was material. I think it was just because I didn't read them right. I didn't tell them, hey, I didn't create that trust beforehand. And so saying that's those two are my worst lessons. It's just I thought the outcome was there, but just they weren't happy with it. So
What's going on with your family? Kids?
oh, thanks for asking. The kid older, of course. Ben saw me a year ago. So Vivian's 9, Everett's 7. Everett's a lefty, we think. I think Vivian's starting to get the game going, and she's starting to play the game a little better, and she's starting to come out with me in these rounds of golf, and she play a tee, not a problem. Everett will swing a few times, and next thing you know, he's looking in the dirt and for worms or something. But they're good. My wife Karen, she's doing great. She's working from home, supporting my dreams. Oh, she's awesome. Yeah, we're having a good time here in Colorado. It's we met some good friends, and my parents live next door to me, so Karen and I have a lot of date nights or trips out of town, and a lot of support. But it's awesome seeing. It's good taking care of my parents, and they take care of me on some stuff. I take care of them, so it works out well. So
Colorado being basically the best outdoor state, you doing some outdoor activities, skiing and stuff like that, or what?
When I moved here, when you move to Colorado, like a big gung ho. I want to do everything: hiking, skiing, rafting. I don't do that much anymore. I'm getting too old, and I tore my meniscus last year, and I didn't get a surgery yet, so I'm afraid it'll act up again. So I'm skiing socially with my kids. I want them to learn how to ski, so when they get older, they can at least have an option of skiing whenever they want. Believe it or not, I'm kind of kicked myself in the butt saying I came out of Colorado, but I'm playing golf more than ever, and then putting everything else on the side. But it is what it is. That's my love.
So
more golf.
So Mike Hutchins is one of our loyal listeners. He listens to every single podcast. Is the plan for the future for you to live the Mike Hutchins plan? Have your wife keep working while you retire and play more golf?
I think it's going on right now.
Things are happening.
Not officially. It's pretty funny. Mike, Mike, and whenever Eric Lee was talking about it a little bit, he said, "Yes, remember when Brent Hutchins broke his arm on the golf course?" Like, oh yeah, that's right. It's like I think he broke it. He was out there playing, messing around, and someone did a quick turn and came out and broke his arm. So I'm pretty sure Mike remembers that.
You do spend a little bit of time on your lawn as well.
Oh yes, I do.
Oh God, you're one of those.
I did win yard of the month.
Oh man, I haven't cut my own grass in 12 years, man.
So last time Kim and I were out to visit, he picks us up at the airport, and we drive back to his house, and he slowly pulls in the driveway so that I can see this sign that says yard of the month. I get in the house, I look at Karen, and I go, how in the heck did he win yard of the month?
Yeah.
And she rolls her eyes and she looks at me and she goes, his mom voted online 2 times a day for 20 years.
Oh man,
It's good to have mom. It's good to have mom.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I deserved it though. I learned from you, by the way. I asked you the bell about some. Obviously, I didn't take care of my yard at all when I was in Plainfield, but I said, I got like a 20 yard by 10 yard. I can take care of. I can do that myself. So yeah, see, at all, it's you.
It's he's got rollers on the back of his mowers and all kinds of.
I'll let my lawn guy know all this stuff. Yeah, I'll let. That's been part of my budget for the last 12 years for sure. So, what else we got, guys? Anything else? What was it like seeing the renovation completed and opening back up? Like, what was that all like? As far as kind of the going through the renovation and like basically you have a brand new campus, new beginnings.
Oh, I was more happy for Jim than anything else. It's like I'm pretty sure. I mean, like he's a proud guy, and gosh, I can't remember that first day now. I remember. Like I just remember, okay, this is a beautiful facility, and then obviously we had our own clubhouse. I'm like, we're almost there. I got one beautiful product. I go, okay, this guy is still an eyesore. I just remember, like, okay, that's That's when obviously I didn't think that I was going to be. I thought I was going to be there to see the clubhouse get fully built, but I don't know. I think it definitely went up a notch or two or three. And I'm seeing from here. I see you guys on the Golf Digest top public places to play in Illinois stuff. And I think it's still underrated. I mean, I don't know much about now, but I think it's still underrated. I think when you go play that course, like each hole is harder than you think. Greens are tougher. I think. No, I'm pretty sure that being on the helmet, that course is always in good shape. Yeah, I think it's always been the underdog, the course that no one knows much about unless you play it, experience it. I think I've been in touch, and I think you guys are doing a great job out there. I think I do miss the place, and like I said, I still have dreams about working there, talking to the staff, talking to members, talking to Jim. So I think it'll always be in my blood. The culture of what we all built, and I don't think I can get any better than that. Unfortunately, here I just shake my head all the time. Oh boy!
You know what? I didn't ask. I should have asked this. Can you tell me about the round that you tied my course record suspiciously for about 2 months?
No, other way around. Other way around. You did no other way around, dude.
Was it?
You tied it after that. I remember because you were late for work.
I was. You're right. I think maybe
I remember this.
Oh no, it was Kurt. Kurt, remember Kurt?
Oh, Unique.
Yeah, Unique.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was on the lesson tee.
Yeah.
And I remember someone came up to me and said, "Hey, I heard like Andy's might put course of record. He's on 17 or 18." And I'm looking at the clock. He starts to shift like in 5 minutes.
I was on a heater. I was on a heater. I had to keep going.
Of course, but I had a record too with Jason Shuck, I think.
Yeah.
And Andy Kajewski did it late. I'm not sure when he did it. But I remember you did it after because I almost went out there to disrupt it around. To say, Andy, dude's like, okay, if you don't come in now, I'm gonna let you go. And I knew you were gonna finish it around, but I just thought maybe just but I let it play out. I didn't go out there. I remember this pretty good. I remember like, I should go out there and disrupt it, give him a little hex. But no, but it was after me, not before me. Okay, so if you want to know, I still have that plaque over my house. I can give you the date exactly when I did it.
I'm gonna have to look at the dates. You know what's funny is I did it with a Hogan Apex golf ball.
Holy cow, that was a long time ago.
Well, V, it was an absolute pleasure to have you. We probably should do this more often. I'll tell you what, you can be a regular guest with us anytime. If we should talk about PJ Hope, the McGuethy Cup in the future, I'd love to have you in. Why haven't you gotten the invite again for member guest?
Oh, I don't know. Well, Takahashi's gone. I mean, I actually talked to him the other day. He's freezing his butt off in Wisconsin, I think. But no, no one's invited me. It's fine. I mean,
well, maybe this will help with that.
Oh yeah, there's. If you need my number, call Ben. He'll give you my number for a guest. Everyone needs a guest. Everyone listen to this. So
perfect. All right, B. Well, hey, you made such an impact here, and just wanted to get you on. And after seeing the other night that you were turning 25, Mistwood turned 25, it just made too much sense. So, man, it's great catching up. Awesome to talk to you. We need to do it more often.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. And hopefully it's the guys who knew me back then who hear this and tell them, I miss you guys for some of the staff and members and the people who still work at the facility. So I'll get back. I'll get back soon. Hopefully next year for the McGuethy Cup or a member guest and spend some time with you guys.
All right. Thanks.
Got it. We'll see you soon.
You guys covered a lot of territory with that, Andy.
Yeah, some inside baseball, some fun stuff. Some of the old members get a chuckle out of. I'm glad we got the towel incident story. That's definitely on the that had to be told to everybody. The first time I heard it, I had a hard time breathing. I was laughing so hard. But yeah, just it's so good to see him. It's one of those things. We're talking about traditions at the start, right? Like we need to do a better job of staying in touch with our friends. And V was such an important friend and part of Mistwood for so many years. So. It was great to at least catch up with them and just hear about what he's doing now. It sounds like he's living his best life. Guy's playing golf like 4 or 5 days a week, teaching when he wants.
He's got the nice weather there.
Sounds pretty good to me, right?
Kind of mountain air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I mean, he's in a good spot in Colorado. He's in a good headspace, doing what he wants to do, doing what he loves, and it's nice. Daily grind's kind of gone in his life, and now he can just enjoy things. And his kids are young enough, and man, he's kind of got it figured out.
Well, I know something head pro Frank Hohenadel would appreciate would be the lawn conversation that you guys had. I know I love that. Best lawn around type stuff.
Oh my God.
Man is working.
I forgot about that. You guys nerding out about the lawns. Ugh.
Love a good conversation about the lawn.
I'll let my lawn guy know. I haven't touched mine in 12 years. I think I'm going on 13 now. So.
All right. Well, we hope everyone has a great Christmas, a happy New Year. We'll come back in the new year with more excellent episodes, and maybe we'll call some more old friends.
That sounds awesome.
All right. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
Take care.
Get in the cart.
Right at us.
The best in the business, Roger Cleveland.
Can't wait to get back to Chicago in this one.
This is Party of Four, a Mistwood Golf Club podcast.